You and I have the opportunity to be more. In fact, I would say that we have the responsibility to be more. We have a responsibility to our children, to our family, to our community, to our country, to the world. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to be more than who we are right now. What if I had decided many years ago that I didn't want to take advantage of an opportunity to be more? I just would continue stuttering. What if several years ago I decided that I didn't want to start a business helping people with their speech? Well, someone might say, well, Michael, someone else would have done that. Well, they probably would have, and they have. But the truth is, listen to this, you and I are called to come into people's lives and to touch them in a way that no one else can. No one else on this earth is just like you. No one else has your exact experiences. No one else has your exact DNA. No one else has your perspective on things. Therefore, there are some things in this world that only you and I can do. Does that make sense? So I want to challenge you to think about how you want to take advantage of this opportunity to be more. What are the things that you feel called to do? What are the things that, as a friend of mine, Tom Harrison, says that you must do? It's just something, it doesn't matter if you're paid for it or not. It's just something you feel like you absolutely have to do. It doesn't mean you're going to do it, but you just feel like you must do this thing. What are those things? For some of you, it's going back to school. For some of you, it's starting your own business. It's learning a new skill. It's improving your speech or improving some other aspect about yourself. What is it that you feel called to do? What is it that you feel like you must do? Now, I want you to think about what's been stopping you. What's been holding you back? What's been limiting you? So, my name is Michael Williams, and the title of this entire series is going to be an ongoing series, is entitled Breaking Through. I'm going to write this down. Breaking through what? Your limitations. Breaking through your limitations. Now, we all have limitations, and many of them, if not most of them, are internal and they're self-imposed, right? And I'm going to talk to you just briefly about the three major areas that we're going to find these limitations, okay? So let's just look at these. So we all have limitations. We all have things that hold us back. Most of these limitations are internal, and most of them are self-imposed. So let's talk about the three major categories that we're going to find our limitations. I have them, you have them, everyone has these limitations. This first area has to do with a lack of clarity. That is, we don't know how we want to become more, how we want to do more. We have no idea, right? We just don't know what we want to do, what we should be doing, what we are called to do. So it's this lack of clarity. Have you ever been lost? Have you ever been driving or walking or riding or whatever, and you're just lost? That feels very frustrating, right? Have you ever been lost in a bad neighborhood? Not only is it frustrating, but it's also dangerous. Well, listen to this. Many people go through their entire life just wandering around, drifting through life, lost, sometimes into various very dangerous areas. So one of the first major areas, one of the first major limitations to us being more, doing more, has to do with a lack of clarity, not knowing what direction we're going in. But not only not knowing which direction we're going in, because sometimes we do know which direction we want to go in, but we don't know why, right? We don't know why. Well, why am I doing this? Why am I working towards this goal? How does this tie into my values, to what's important to me? So we're going to dig into that in a specific series, or in a series of videos and audios, okay? Because it's very, very important. Imagine if you're wandering around lost, just drifting, then you're going to end up where? Anywhere. You're never going to end up totally fulfilling reaching, maximizing your potential and your calling. That means that there are going to be people out there who never have the opportunity to experience the blessing of your life, of your knowledge, of your experience, of your talents. Okay? So the first major area has to do with a lack of clarity, right? Right? The first major area. Now, what's the second area? The second area has to do with a lack of confidence. Sometimes we just don't feel like we can. We know what we want to do. We may know why we want to do it, but we don't feel confident. We don't have that faith, that belief that in fact we can accomplish it, that we can do it. And so we say, I can't do that, or I don't think I can do that. So we doubt our ability. We doubt the possibility that something good can happen to us and for us and with us. We doubt. We have a lack of confidence. So that's the second one. The second one has to do with confidence, right? And this third one, even though it's number 3, it's probably the biggest one. It's probably the biggest one. What do you think the third one is? The third one has to do with a lack of courage. Now, what do I mean by that? When I say a lack of courage, I'm really talking about fear. And this is a big one, right? We all experience this. Well, what if? What if I try this and I fail? Well, I tried it before, and what if I try it again and it fails? That doesn't feel very good. What if I ask them and they say no? What if I stand up and speak and people laugh at me? Or what if I freeze up and forget what I'm about to say? What if I fall out? What if I try to do this and it doesn't work out? What if I get fired? There's all these what ifs that people run through their mind, and what it does is it paralyzes them and prevents them. It limits them from stepping out and from doing the things that they need to do, right? From actually failing so that they can ultimately achieve success. Is this idea of courage, right? So we've all heard this before. So when we have courage, it doesn't mean that we're not afraid. It just means that we are willing to act in the midst of that fear. So a lot of people don't act. They talk themselves out of it because they're afraid. We all have things that we don't do that we're afraid to do. And one of the things that we have to learn to develop is courage, the courage to act in spite. So we're going to talk about that in a series of videos and audios as we work through this entire series, breaking through your limitations. Breaking through your limitations. You have the opportunity and responsibility to do more. I heard a client say that to me. I have the opportunity right now to do more, but I've been hiding behind my speech. I've been working at jobs where I don't really have to speak. I wanted to do more. I knew I was capable of doing more, but I was afraid. I was afraid. I didn't really want to deal with it. I didn't have to deal with it because I was doing these kinds of jobs, so I didn't have to speak. So as some of you may know, the area that I've been focused on over the last several years has been helping people who struggle with their speech. Could be stuttering, could be fear of public speaking, could be mumbling, speaking fast, whatever it is, just not being able to communicate and get their message out and say what they want to say. But this, right, the limitations, the things that stop us apply to all of us. It doesn't matter what your limitation is. It could be speech, it could be fear, it could be lack of education, it could be whatever you think it is. In fact, often, as I said before, some of these limitations are self-imposed. Some of them are imagined. Some people feel like they're limited because of their color, because of their race, their ethnicity, their gender, their height, right? Whatever it might be, some people feel like they're limited. Some people may feel like they're limited because they have a disability. Some people may think they have a disability when it's actually not a disability. So I'm going to be challenging you in this series to take a look at your limitations. And what we're going to do is we're going to share with you how you can break through those limitations so that you can do what you're called to do, right? What you're called to do. Because when you're doing what you're called to do, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be more focused. You're not going to get distracted as quickly. You're going to be happier. You're going to have more peace. You're going to have more joy. You're going to have a greater sense of purpose. Because trust me, when you're sowing into the lives of others, when you're sowing into the lives of others, something magical happens. People begin to sow back into your lives. Things begin to happen to you. Things begin to come to you. You begin to develop in areas where when you were just focused on your problems and your life, that those things didn't happen. So there's something about when you're sowing into the lives of others that something happens to our own lives. Does this make sense? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this series. And I'm very excited about it because the series speaks to me, and I hope that it speaks to you, because when we're able to break through our limitations, break through our barriers, man, it's just incredible what's possible. It's incredible of the lives that you will touch, not just in your family, not just with your children or with your spouse, with your cousins and aunts and uncles, not just in your neighborhood, right? Not just at your job and your community, not just in your city or your state or your country, but the lives that you will touch around the world. Some people are afraid to get on video because they don't like the way they sound. They don't like the way they look, or what if someone says something? But there are people on the other side of the world who are waiting to hear from you, or waiting to watch your video, or listen to your audio, or read your book. We're going to talk about that. So once again, my name is Michael Williams. Thank you so much for watching this video. Look forward to more videos coming your way in this series. Share this video. Get on my list. I'm going to probably turn this into a podcast as well. We're going to be doing some live Google Hangouts, some live Facebook. And so I want you to get on my list so that you know when I'm coming out with these videos, so you can watch them, leave comments, and share. Let me know what some of your limitations are. Doesn't matter what anyone else says, just let me know what your limitations are. Right? Sometimes once you put them out there, it's not that bad. You're like, okay, I can start to work on this. Let me know what some of your dreams are, what you feel like your calling is. Like my friend Tom Harrison says, what is it that you feel like you must do? I want to hear from you. All right? Again, this is Michael Williams. Look forward to seeing you in the next video in this series.